what it is, what's happening. I haven't done a video for the channel here in quite some time. Well, that's because I've been moving. We're no longer at the original ranch. We're now at the new ranch, the Beach Edition 2.0. Finally got everything moved last week. Just haven't had time to do a video just with moving. I mean, this truck still got 4 motors in it. I still got some motors outside, but I'm starting to hang up some signage, starting to put some stuff away. Had my carpenter buddy here today, trying to get the shop in order, and it's a mess. It's a hot mess. I mean, moving stuff like this, equipment, you know, compressors, tools, nut and bolt cabinets, another nut and bolt cabinet here, motors, you got workbenches. Moving this stuff is not easy. It's a pain. I actually paid movers to do 90% of this. They did the house. I did some stuff, you know, big stuff, such as the toolbox, the 2 lifts that were in the other building. They're here. They're out back on the car trailer. It's a lot. It's just terrible. But we got a clean slate. Got a nice building here. It's empty. Got to put a ceiling in. We got to insulate the walls, put up some walls. We're going to put a mini split in, which will give me heat and AC. We're going to have heat and AC in here, which will be nice. It's just been a lot. Managed to. There's a project that you'll recognize in the background of my many videos. 4 years in the making. We moved it here. It's still in pieces. I've got another truck in a building over there, 4 motors in the bed of it. There's a building out here. I don't know if you can see through the door. I'll take you out there. It's packed full of all the stuff with the movers. 60 Chevy pickup, the 53 Ford. They're in that building. Here. The 60 Chevys in there. The 53 Ford, and then all of the parts and all the specialty tools that I own, everything's packed away in there. The 52 Ford's living out here in this lean-to for right at the moment. It's just been a mess. I've been putting up lights, putting up some signage, you know, trying to get somewhat organized. It's a lot to do. Moving the shop is horrible. I can't tell you how many trips I made in the old rollback. There's still stuff on the back of the truck, and I need the truck tomorrow morning. So I got to find a home for that junk. The rat rod wrecker, which we all know I hate that term, it's here next to the 54 Dodge wrecker. It's here. The California van that was in the other building, it's out there in that building. It's here. The mud truck, it's here. It's just a lot. Moving all this stuff takes a lot. Managed to pack everything that goes to this truck inside the truck. Got the lift. Got to do something with the lift. And that's what my buddy was here today for. We're looking at doing some, going to do some changing around on a couple of the rafters inside the shop. So we can put the lift up inside the shop, and then I'll put a ceiling up. So I've just been kind of piddling around, going through boxes, opening the stuff up, putting some stuff away. I've been running outlets in the ceiling so that I can put in all the lights for the shop, all LED lights. We took everything out of the other building. When I sold the other place, it was contingent on I was willing to leave the lift, and I was willing to leave the lights. I was willing to leave all this stuff, but the guy did not want to work with me. It was an absolute horrible experience selling that house. It was one of the absolute worst sales I've ever done with anything in my entire life. But these are all the LED lights out of the old shop. And what I've been doing is I've been putting outlets in. There's another one over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put outlets in like I had at the old building. That way when this fixture goes bad, you unplug it and you throw it in the trash. These ones here were hardwired in, and they were horribly done. If you look up there, I don't know if you can see, That's how they're in there, and it's a really bad job. I'm no electrician, but I know that that's wrong. So the experience with the other house was absolutely terrible. I've never dealt with anything so horrible. The buyer was absolutely his realtor, and hold on a minute, let me move you. That's better. So that buyer of my old house and shop was just the absolute worst experience I've ever had. I sold the place as is because it's an older house. The house was built, it's an old farmhouse. It was built in the 30s. It's 2.5 acres, and I didn't want to have to deal with, you know, this and that and that and this. I bought the house as is, so I sold the bitch as is. Problem was, this guy had a VA loan, which to me is like a buy here, pay here loan. It's a bullshit loan. They wanted certain things fixed or he couldn't get his loan. So I stepped up, spent some money, had a few things done to make his loan work. Well, I was supposed to have till the 15th of January to move out of there. We get to the settlement table, and the buyer of my place says, "Where's all the throw rugs? Who the hell leaves throw rugs behind?" They started bitching about some molding, some crown molding around the floor that was missing. Just nitpick, nickel dime bullshit. After I spent $3,000 of my money fixing stuff that his loan required to have done, like stupid stuff, like they wanted a hand railing to go up into the attic, that kind of crap. You know, a faucet didn't work correctly. It's just little piddly crap. But this stuff, like they wanted lolly columns in the basement, which it never had and didn't need to be there. But all this stuff had to be done by a contractor. Stuff that I could clearly do myself, but I had to pay somebody because they wanted to see it on paper. It was all crap. We get to the settlement. 3 hours in settlement. Because they wanted me to put up $5,000 of my money to ensure that I moved all of my tools and equipment out of the building. Like I'm going to leave this behind. It got to the point about an hour into it, I stood up and said, "Nobody's making any fucking money in here because I'm fucking leaving. Because I own this bitch and I don't need to sell. This was a choice I decided. I woke up one day and said, I'm ready to move to the beach and I'm ready to sell this place." So I had enough. I stood up in the room and I said, "Nobody's making any money. And I don't care if you do or not, because nobody's twisting my arm." They thought they had me over a barrel because everything I was making on that house, I was putting on the new house, but I didn't need to. So they thought they had me over a barrel, but really they didn't. So they come back and they say, "We need $5,000 and you only have 10 days to move out." I said, "Well, you guys have no clue as to how much stuff I own and how much stuff's in the garage. 40 vehicles at the property, let alone all of those tools and equipment that are here," which if you watch my previous videos, you know I have a lot of tools and equipment. After all, it's a full-blown repair shop. We go back and forth, and finally my realtor puts up $2,000 and we had to move in 10 days. So I didn't get a chance to really share much video of us moving. I'm going to throw some pictures in there of us loading stuff up. We don't really have much videos because it was just a total shit show. I had friends come down from up north to help. Thank God for some of them guys. A good friend of mine came down. We did manage to tear half the yard up, but we're under a time crunch. It rained and froze all in the same day. It started out to be a 50-degree day, and by the end of the day, it was 0. It was cold. And unfortunately, he's there with a dumpster truck and a machine to help move all the stuff that was in the back room. We junked so much stuff. Pickup truck frames. I had accumulated so much stuff over the years that I was there that I finally just cut a lot of this stuff loose. I just got rid of it. I didn't want to move it all. I didn't want to bring it down here. I'm not going to do the repair work on the scale that I was doing it at that house. Down here, we're going to concentrate more on my projects. I do have a few jobs that I'm going to be doing that I'll share on the channel, but for the most part, the channel is going to get back to what it originally was, which was about my projects and getting these completed, going out on the beach, doing some four-wheeling. We're finally going to get back to that because I'm not going to be doing the repair work on other people's cars on the scale I was doing it at the old ranch. Ranch 2.0 is Beach Ranch, which is relaxing. We're going to try to relax some. We are still going to do a lot of stuff with the old tow trucks. So you guys that are into the old tow trucks, we are going to do that. Tomorrow morning, I'm actually taking a roll back and going back up north. I sold a couple of trucks up there. I've got some stuff in storage at a storage lot I'm renting. So tomorrow we're going to go up, get these two trucks ready to leave that I sold, and we're going to bring the blue 75 Ford F-350 Ranger Wrecker down here so it can join its brothers and sisters outside over there. And hopefully we can get some time to actually spend some time on that truck. I've got I don't know where they are because everything's packed away, but I have all the brake parts for that truck. So hopefully we'll be able to get the brakes on that truck, get a carburetor on that truck, get it running right. That's a really, really cool wrecker. I think a lot of you guys that follow my channel for the wreckers will enjoy that wrecker. That's a I believe it's 70,000 original miles. It's a 1975 F-350 Ranger XLT. It's a 390 AC, power steering, power brake, carpet, with all the trim, with a Holmes 500 twin line wrecker. It's a really, really cool truck. In its day, that was like the Cadillac. You couldn't get anything better. So hopefully we'll be able to start spending some time focusing on that truck, and we'll be able to share on it. It's going to be a truck that I'm not going to restore, but I'm going to bring the truck up to, I guess you want to say, driver status, and just preserve it the way it is. I'm going to repaint the bed, but we're going to try to save the paint on the front of the truck, put my name on the door, and, you know, parades, local car shows, drive it to the store to get something to drink, just play around with it. It does have a push bumper on it, so I'll probably use it around here when I need to move something. And of course, the old red wrecker that we have, we'll be bringing her home. It's up north as well, but I need to leave it up there because I've got some stuff up there in storage that I'm selling, and I need that truck to move the stuff around and load stuff up. So for right at the present moment, the yard truck's going to stay up there, but I am going to have to get it down here because there's no way I can lift the lift up. We'll be needing that. But yeah, the buyer of my house was just unrealistic. There's some special words I'd like to use for that guy because he really was just a piece of garbage. His lawyer was a joke. Again, 3 hours at settlement. This lawyer's office was a mess. Furniture leaning up against the wall, boxes of paper stacked up. The place was a mess. People in and out of there, people hanging out with their feet up on the couch. I mean, it was ghetto. It was ghetto. That's the best word to use for that. As far as this house, it took me longer to drive there than it did to, I was in and out in a matter of minutes. When I finally sold my house and got the check in my hand, I drove straight to settlement on this place, handed them the check, signed a handful of papers, handed me the keys, and I was off to the races. That was simple. Everything on my end was done weeks ago. But this guy, he wanted to change the game at the table. It's too late, pal. You're committed at this point. It got to the point, like I said, I stood up and I told him, nobody's making money because I don't need to sell it. You guys don't have me over a barrel. You think you have me over a barrel, but I don't. You don't. So I'm holding the cards here. And I'll just take his ass to court. I don't care. I really don't care. You're going to jam me up, but you're not going to jam me up, you know? So it was the worst experience ever. I mean, it should never ever have been 10 days to move. I mean, that was just, I agreed to it because I wanted to be done with it. And it was hell. We ran for 2 weeks solid. From the time we got up in the morning, about 8:30, I'd jump in that rollback. I spent 2 weeks in that rollback. I haven't been in that rollback in the last week since I've been done. It's been sitting over there. In fact, like I just showed you, it's still got junk on the bed. I got to clean it off today because I need the truck. But I didn't want to get back in that truck for a long time. I was in it for 2 weeks solid. If I wasn't running cars back and forth to storage, I was running cars down here, or I was running a load of stuff down here. And it's an hour from the old ranch to here. It's an hour. Unload, which takes you, depending on what you got on the truck, and then turn around in an hour back. do the math. There's not enough hours in a day to make all this happen. And then we ran trash, junk, 30 tires. I had 30 tires to get rid of. That was $275 to get rid of all that junk. Back to my buddy that came down with a roll-off dumpster and a skid steer. We took 3 loads of the roll-off dumpster to scrap, and then 1 we filled with trash and took it out. And then me and my girlfriend took 2 pickup truck loads of trash. And when I say trash, it isn't like garbage, like house garbage. It's just junk that you don't want. You know, just junk you don't want. You know, you're cleaning out your shop and there's tons of crap that you realize, why did I save that? Why did I save that 1 mirror? Why did I save that 1 headlight? What did I save that junk for? You know, you're going through boxes and going, this stuff was here when I moved here. There were so many boxes of stuff in the back room from when I moved from the last house to there. That stuff's been back there for 5 years. I told my guys that were helping, do not open the box up. Heave it right in the back of the truck. I don't even want to know what's in there because I haven't looked in there in 5 years. Put it in the truck. Some of them are going through the boxes going, oh man, there's there. I don't want to hear what's in there. I want it in the truck. I don't even want to look at it. Put it in the truck. It's all trash. There's stuff that was in there from my business that I owned 10 years ago. I heaved all that stuff too. Why I moved and saved that stuff is beyond me. But it was 2 full-size pickup truck loads of trash, 1 roll-off dumpster full of trash, and then 3 roll-off of scrap. Scrap, like I just saved a lot of stuff that I didn't need to save. Some of the stuff was just ridiculous that I saved. And you know, when you're a car guy and you're into these trucks and you just save so much crap, I'm going to use that someday. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. There was 2 sets of doors that the bottoms were rotted out on. I don't even know why I saved them. Maybe I saved them for the guts in the door. I don't know. But I threw it all away. I had enough of it. I threw it all away. Just wanted to be done with it. Just going to try to concentrate on the projects that I got here. Like this fucking thing, we're going to finally get this turd back together. This truck has been this way for 4 years. It's time to make this truck run. Now what I did do, which I think will help me in the future, is a week before settlement, I went around the shop and I put everything that goes to the projects in the project, such as the rat rod wrecker. Other than the motor and trans, every part I bought for that truck is piled in that truck. I bolted the doors back on, locked the doors, and closed them. Same thing with this green Ford. Everything that goes to this truck is inside the truck. It's in the bed, it's in the cab. Everything that goes to this truck is in it. The van that I bought from California, the same deal. Everything that I've cut off the parts vans and everything that goes to that van is piled inside the van. To hopefully, when I get around to working on stuff, I'm not digging and looking for the crap. So I'm going to put some pictures up, a couple little video clips of us moving and cleaning up some stuff. And hopefully here, within the next week or two, we can start getting back to some regular stuff on the channel here now that the move is over. But I know some guys have reached out and wondered what's been going on. The channel's been kind of quiet. Well, it's because I moved. And now we're at the beach. Technically, I'm not at the beach, but I'm like 12 or 16 miles, give or take a couple miles. And I can put my feet in the ocean. Close enough for me. I don't want to live in the beach town itself. I'd like to be on the outside of the beach town. That way I'm not dealing with the tourists. I'm not dealing with the beach taxes and all that. I'm just on the edge. I'm right on the line. It's perfect. It's just perfect. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and will catch me on the next one. And we were going to try to dive into some project stuff, or at least, if anything, I'll do some videos on as we're working on the garage here, putting it together and getting everything straightened out. So holler at you, boy. Keep it reals. Catch me on the next one.